Okay, so I got some more Mcfarlane Superpowers figures to unbox, and this is Green Lantern, Hourman, and Starman, the 3-pack. You can see this is the cardboard mailer that it came in when I got it from Big Bad Toy Store in a box with a bunch of other stuff, and I already took the liberty of opening up the cardboard mailer so I could look at the figures, but I have not opened up the figures yet. Now, from what I understand, a lot of people have been getting this with not enough glue on it, and they've already gotten the figures opened up because the bubble has come loose from the card back. Hello there, Retro Tinker. Welcome to the show. So as we can see, it's Green Lantern, Hourman, and Starman, but it's actually Starman, Hourman, and Green Lantern. I don't know why they have the names of the characters reversed on the package. Now, you might say, well, maybe they want to have Green Lantern be the top build since he's the most famous character of the three, but in that case, why not have Green Lantern over on this side under his name? It's just confusing. I look at it and I'm like, well, that's a terrible Green Lantern figure. It doesn't look anything like Green Lantern. It looks like Starman. And the Starman figure is terrible too because it looks like Green Lantern. It's so messed up. I don't know why they did this. Like, you guys could just be consistent about it. Here's what the back of the package looks like, and we've got 3 bios to read. So let's go ahead and read them. Green Lantern. Earth's original Green Lantern and a founding member of the Justice Society, Alan Scott, has been a trailblazer for 80 years. Trailblazer at what? What are his powers? What is he? It doesn't mention him being like a radio announcer or, that he has a weakness to wood or that he's gay now. I don't know. like anything. Tell me anything about the character. Hourman's bio is brilliant chemist Rex Tyler invented a vitamin called Miraclo, which granted him superpowers, but only for 1 hour. Well, at least that tells me a little bit about him. They should have just combined them Green Star Lantern Man. Oh, jeez. Starman says Ted Knight became Starman after inventing a gravity rod that gathered and focused ambient energy from the stars. So, those are both fairly brief bios, but at least they tell us something about the characters, unlike Green Lanterns. So, and we can see the logos on there. Like Green Lantern has like the 80s style Green Lantern logo that I grew up with, and Hourman and Starman both have their Golden Age logos. So the artwork on here is interesting. Looking at the way that the legs are drawn, I think that these are based off of Jose Luis Garcia Lopez illustrations, but just kind of altered to be these other characters. So I think they maybe took the top half of Starman from a different comic book. But if you look at the legs here, those are definitely legs from a Jose Luis Garcia Lopez Batman, and they redrew the boots to look more like Starman's boots, which is strange to me. Like, why didn't they just take the legs from Superman? Because, as we'll discuss, he has the same boots as Superman. So there are some reused parts in this set. We're going to discuss that some. Let's go ahead and open it up. Let's see if I can get it off the card back without messing it up too much. Mine is actually glued to the card back fairly well. It came kind of loose there. So yeah, mine. I think this is actually a fairly good gluing job they had on here. It wasn't glued so much that it pulls the entire card back loose, but it also wasn't glued so loosely that that the thing just falls off like it has for some people. All right, so let's go ahead, and we've got the inner bubble here, which has its own inner bubble, probably to keep these capes in place. And of these 3 action figures, we have 1 accessory, which is Starman's Cosmic Rod. So let's go ahead and start with Starman, since he does have the accessory. And that's what the Cosmic Rod looks like. They did a pretty good job with that. Set that aside for a moment. And he does have the smaller Cosmic Rod, not the big, long one that his son had when he was Starman, and that eventually got passed to Star Girl. No rubber tabs or anything holding him in. He's just in there fairly snugly, but he comes out pretty easily. And there he is out of the package. I went ahead and took the cape off of him, put that back on him so we can see what he looks like. And they did, oftentimes artists forget this, they did remember to put the star on the back of his cape. Retro Tinker said, I had to stop buying these new Superpowers figures on many occasions. I just can't get into another toy line. Yeah, but I wasn't gonna miss Superpowers. Like that was what I grew up with in the 80s, so I definitely wanted to get some of that. All right, so that's what it looks like with the cape on him. He looks pretty good. The cape is a bit shorter than I'm used to these Superpowers capes being lately. It only comes down to his knees, but that looks fine with me. I will say that I'm disappointed a little bit that his holster is just kind of a solid holster that doesn't look like it can actually hold anything. And in fact, I think this might be the same one that Peacemaker has. If I can find what I did with my Peacemaker figure. He should be around here somewhere. So I don't remember putting him away or anything like that. But I do have stacks of other stuff on here. Now, even though this is technically the first Justice Society figures that we've gotten in this line, we do have one other member of the team that we could add to it already, and that is the Fleischer Superman. Since even though this isn't like the proper Earth 2 Superman, it's still, you know, like a Golden Age Superman. I think it works. But it's worth comparing anyway because they reused most of Superman's body. He's got a new belt and a new head and a new right arm so he can have a hand that grips his cosmic rod. No jokes. We don't need to make any jokes about that. I know what I said, but there's really not a way to phrase that where it doesn't sound at least a little bit dirty. I could have sworn I still had Peacemaker over here. Well, I don't know if it's the same holster or not. I would like to compare it at some point. It does look like it has a gun inside of it, though. Like you can see, like there's a little bit of the handle of the gun back there. Starman looks good. Love the soft goods cape. Yeah, they did a good job with this cape. I mean, like for Mcfarlane, they did a good job. It's still not like sewn correctly, but the cape clip seems to be staying on fairly well. And like I said, they actually did remember to put the star on the back of the cape, which, you know, oftentimes in the comic book, they forget to put the star on the back of the cape. So it's nice that they remembered that. So we'll talk about the articulation with Starman, but it should be the same on all these figures. I'll take the cape off so I can do this. So Starman's head rotates all the way around, and his arms rotate all the way around the shoulders. This is 1980s style action figure articulation, so you know, it's pretty basic. There's no ball joints or anything like that. No wrist articulation, no L-bar articulation. Starman can kick up about that far, kick back about that far, and he does have knee articulation that bends about that far, which most figures in the 80s did not have knee articulation, so it was a bonus to have that with Superpowers. They were some of the best articulated figures on the market because of that. Like G.I. Joe obviously had more articulation, but that's about it. So there he is with the cosmic rod, and we'll put the cape back on him to get the full effect. And yeah, he looks pretty cool. So Starman I'm pretty happy with. Let's move on to the next figure in the package, which is Hourman. Now, Hourman is the one that I think has the most controversy around him, and that has to do with the way that that they depicted Hourman's mask. Now, you can see here that he has like a yellow hood with this mask attached to it, and then he's got his eyebrows painted on there. And if we look at the way that he was illustrated on the back of the package, you can see that they put some black shading onto his forehead. Now, a lot of people have complained that he does not have, excuse me, that he does not have the black shading on his forehead in the figure. And to be fair, he doesn't always have the black shading drawn onto his face in the comic books. So it's not like this is really inaccurate to the comic book. It just depends on which comic book you're looking at as to whether or not he has that shading on there. And sometimes in the comic, if I'm being honest, it does appear like it's being drawn to be like it actually is a black shape to his mask. So I can see how some people could look at it and say, well, that doesn't look quite right. But I can also see how some people might look at, if they painted the black onto his face, might look at it and say, well, that doesn't look right. So either way, I think they were going to get a compliment of fans that look at it and be like, well, that's not right. So it's a no-win scenario, really. They had to choose one or the other, and they chose to go with a solid yellow mask. I don't have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with is that I feel like they made the eye holes too big on the mask, and you really shouldn't be able to see his eyebrows. If you look at the way that it's drawn in the comic book illustration, you can see that while his eyes are totally visible, you can still see the I mean, you can't quite see the eyebrows like you can on the figure. So I think I might wind up repainting this so it has the black shading on the face, but only so I can cover up his eyebrows. That's just me. I think a lot of other people might look at this and be like, "Oh yeah, he looks fine," and not have a problem with it. And some other people might have a problem with it. You know, it's your mileage may vary, but personally, I think I'm going to paint that black shading on there. Now he does have his amulet, the hourglass amulet, and it's on a little red string, and it looks like the string is a separate piece from the cape. You can see that after I fold the collar up, you can see that it fits underneath the collar, and it is indeed a separate piece that comes off, and the cape just kind of clips to his neck like a normal superpowers cape. And that's what he looks like without the cape, so you can see his neck where it clips to that. I imagine if they ever get around to the Spectre, they're probably going to do that in much the same way. And if they do the Spectre, they should do them in glow-in-the-dark plastic. I think that would be awesome. The Spectre being one of my favorite characters. So, before I put them all back together, let's go ahead and talk about the articulation. Again, like with Starman, his head rotates all the way around. At least it would if his hood didn't, kind of bump into his shoulders there. The arms rotate all the way around. Legs kick up about that far, kick back about that far. And then he's got knee articulation that bends about that far. So that is it for the articulation on Hourman. Hourman looks to reuse the same buck as the Flash, which personally I would have probably actually gone with the Superman buck for Hourman as well, since he is. I think he should be like a bigger dude than the Flash. I'm just saying, but he still looks fine. So let's go ahead and get the amulet back on him. And like I said, that should just kind of fit around this collar. And then we can fold the collar back down over the cord for the amulet. And it does look like there's a little bit of fraying on his collar. Even though this is kind of a spandexy fabric, I'm not used to spandex fraying like that. But, whatever. Get the collar folded back down. Try not to mess with it too much anymore because I don't want it to fray any more than it does. But there we go. If it was me, I probably would have just had the amulet kind of glued to his chest and had the plastic cord be attached to the cape instead of an actual cord. Like how they have a plastic cord on Green Lantern. But, if you're already molding something, the hourglass and the cord could have all been one piece. So let's go ahead and move on to the last figure in the set, which is the original Green Lantern, Alan Scott. And Alan Scott has something like, I should point this out too, is that Hourman does have the stripes on the cape, the black and red stripes, which I remember seeing a friend of mine saying that it made it look like a bath towel. So I kind of like that. But yeah, Green Lantern and the original Green Lantern, Alan Scott, and you can see that they did correctly put the ring on the left hand, unlike the multiverse version of Green Lantern. Do I have him handy? I think I had him around here somewhere. I've got the multiverse version. I could have sworn he was around here somewhere. The Spectre. because I had a whole bunch of Justice Society figures over here earlier. I'm going to have to try to get my whole Justice Society together and take a picture of them later once I get some more multiverse figures unboxed. Because I do have a bunch of Justice Society characters coming up in multiverse. So that's exciting. You know I love the Justice Society. I'm sure he's around somewhere. I just don't know where he is. But yeah, the multiverse version of Green Lantern, they hey there, Zazzle, how you doing? In either way, I struggle to find my keys. So that's the Green Lantern oath that is more associated with the Silver Age Green Lantern, but they did actually use that Green Lantern oath in some of the Golden Age comics. And then there's a unique oath for Alan Scott, which is, and I shed my light over dark evil, for evil cannot resist the light of Green Lantern, or withstand the light of Green Lantern. Something like, I don't remember it exactly. So withstand the light of Green Lantern. It's something like that. But they did actually use the that oath with the Golden Age Green Lantern originally. So Green Lantern uses, for the most part, the body of Detective Batman. I'm pretty sure I had the gray version of Detective Batman, or the black and gray version, around here somewhere. Yeah, here he is. So we can see that he reuses the same torso and the same legs, and they just kind of painted the laces onto the boots and gave him his own unique belt, his own unique arms, and obviously his own unique head. Great head sculpt on him. I think that this is the best head sculpt of the three. They're all decent enough head sculpts, but this one's I think the best one. So, and I like the way they did the mask. It's not like an exactly Hal Jordan kind of mask. They could have just reused the Hal Jordan head, and I don't think people would have really complained, but they went all out. So Green Lantern actually has this this is a molded plastic cord here, and it actually is glued onto the figure. It looks like it's maybe kind of like they drilled some holes in there and it kind of pegs in there, I guess. There's no cape clip on this. So this cape it looks like it's permanently attached. I don't, oh no, wait, this is removable. So yeah, it's got a couple of peg holes drilled in there. And so how you take off the cape is you remove the plastic cord, and there's two little holes in either side of the cape. So that's how that comes off. I wish they had have given him like a higher collar, because usually Alan is depicted as having a higher collar than this. This is more like a t-shirt collar. And of course the torso is tight fitting on the shirt because they use that Batman torso, like I said. So but it's got the Golden Age style Green Lantern on there. He looks nice. So the head rotates all the way around, arms rotate all the way around the shoulders, legs kick up about that far, kick back about that far, and then knee articulation. So let's go ahead and put the cape back on him. There we go. And this is a really nice cape, by the way. I should point this out. It is a two-toned cape, something they have not done with Robin thus far. So they had a Robin with a yellow cape and a Robin with a black cape. So I really wish they had have done this with Robin's cape so we could have a yellow and black cape. Now, if you remember the old Batman Returns Robin figure, that one was two separate pieces of fabric, but this is like, looks to me like they just took green fabric and printed purple on the other side, and it looks really good. It's nice and soft and pliable, and you might expect if they printed a color on spandex solid like that it might be kind of stiff, but there's no stiffness to this whatsoever. So let me go ahead and plug the cords back in and get him back in shape. It's a little trickier than I would like, but it's not impossible. There we go. So yeah, those aren't glued in. They are removable. The where the cords snap into his chest, so you can take off this cape if you want. That's what she said. Oh yeah. So, and even though he does not come with his own power battery, he does have a hand that is molded in such a way where he can hold a power battery. Maybe I got a spare one on this desk somewhere I can show you. Whoops, moving too much stuff around here. Now, for those of you who don't know, the original Green Lantern was created by a man named Martin Nodell and another gentleman by the name of Bill Finger, who was the writer on the original Green Lantern and helped to polish the concept, much as he did with another character you might have heard of called Batman. And Bill Finger, I consider him to be like the true creator of Batman. Like everything that you think of as Batman really came from Bill Finger, if we're being honest about it. I don't know if I have an extra power battery around here. I was gonna have him hold the John Stewart power battery so we could get a look at that, how he looks with that. I'm just gonna. Do I have one on the card around here anywhere? I've just got so many Green Lantern figures. It's this one. Yeah, that one's Nightwing. If I was looking for a carded Nightwing, I'm sure I would find a carded Green Lantern. But I'll try to take some pictures if I can remember to, and do them as a post, so you guys can see him holding the power battery. But anyway, we already saw him next to Detective Batman, since he uses a lot of those parts. But this is the Batman that would actually go with Alan Scott, and that's not one that Mcfarlane made. That's one that I made. That's my Golden Age Batman, my Earth 2 Batman. And while we're at it, we got an Earth 2 Robin. So let's go ahead and have all three of our Gotham City heroes of Earth 2 together. So I've got twice as many JSA figures that's Mcfarlane actually made. Well, I mean, they made the Fleischer one. So, but yeah, my JSA has got 6 members to it, because I'm gonna let this Superman be a member of my JSA. And for those of you wondering, this is the Wonder Woman cape that I put on him, because I think that looks better. It's more the appropriate length. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So if you're a fan of Golden Age superheroes like I am, and specifically a fan of the Justice Society, this set is a must-have. It's 3 classic characters that are stalwart mainstays of the team, and I believe that Mcfarlane is planning on having a Jay Garrick figure coming out soon. So we will have more JSA members to come. I'm hoping that we'll have Wildcat, since Wildcat's one of my favorite JSA characters. And he's in the stack of multiverse figures I need to open. So we got a lot more JSA to come, because here's Mr. Terrific, and there's the Wildcat figure. So I'll probably be opening these sometime next week. And we got the Barry Allen, the Flashpoint version, and the Speed Force, as they call him, and of course Evil Superman. Hopefully my good Superman will be on the way soon from Big Bad Toy Store, but I managed to snag this guy at Walmart. So we got a lot of cool stuff on the way, not to mention the Jonah Hex Platinum Edition with the white horse. I got to open that guy up, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. Got some Masters Universe Origins, got some G.I. Joe. Don't forget to hit that like button. Indeed, if you want to make sure you catch all that stuff in the future, make sure that you like and subscribe and all that fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the Justice Society 3-pack. Not just the figures, but the characters themselves. What are some Justice Society characters that you would like to see in this line in the future? I already mentioned Wildcat and the Spectre, a couple of my favorite characters. We saw the multiverse Mr. Terrific. I think he'd be a good figure to fit in. I know they're doing the movie version of Mr. Terrific, so that might be the best that Mcfarlane does, but I would like to see a more comic book version of Mr. Terrific. Maybe if I swap out the head. I don't know. I'm going to have to see what it looks like. And then, of course, we've got a lot of retro stuff coming from Spin Master. So it looks like they're working to kind of steal McFarlane's thunder as far as 5-inch figures go. But yeah, Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. No, they were in the Justice League. They were in the Justice League International during that era. Actually, when Blue Beetle, he was a founding member of the post-crisis Justice League that was just Justice League. And then when Maxwell Lord came in, they became the Justice League International, and that's when Booster Gold joined the team. So yeah, that's they were Justice League International. So I tend to just kind of think of that whole era as Justice League International, even though originally the series was just called simply Justice League. But and then later on it was I can't believe it's not the Justice League. when Grant Morrison brought back the big guns, the Big Seven in his version of JLA, and they wanted to do some more JLI comics. They called that comic "I Can't Believe It's Not the Justice League." So those were pretty good. Unfortunately, that was cut short when Dan DiDio decided it'd be a really cool idea to kill off Ted Kord. But whatever, it is what it is. So. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, make sure you like and subscribe if you don't want to, and hit the little bell if you want to make sure you don't miss any of the upcoming stuff. I think tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and open up the Jonah Hex set. So if you haven't already seen my video on uh, Metal Yellow Burst Red. Oh, well, thank you. Retro Taker says, great review, mate. So thank you. But yeah, if what was I saying? I had something I was saying. I don't even remember what it was. I just kind of had a brain fart. It's been a hell of a weekend for me so far. And like here we are on Tuesday, and it hasn't really got any less chaotic. It's the old Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times. It's been an interesting week for me. Let's put it that way. And it's snowed again, and it's like I live in Georgia. It usually snows like once a year, and now it's snowed twice. That's crazy. Oh yeah, the Jonah Hex set. So if you haven't already seen the previous video I did on the standard version of the Jonah Hex set, there's that up, and I talk in a really weird accent through the whole video just because I was feeling it. But I don't think I'm going to do it this time. I don't think I'm going to play it more straight. But yeah, so it's going to be me kind of going over a lot of stuff that I've already gone over when I opened that one up, which is why I wasn't even really sure if I was going to do a video for it. But yeah, I had enough people ask me, yeah, go ahead and do one, so I will go ahead and do one since you guys want to see it. But the Phantom will be a guest star in the Jonah Hex unboxing. So yeah, that should be fun. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk to you next time. Bye. Yeah, end it. I said end it. There we go.